This bag is clearly, and I do mean clearly, one of my favorite bags that I've created thus far. I call her the Cinderella because she's made of glass crystals. She's petite, she's dainty, she's shiny, she's glitzy, she's glamorous, and like the glass slippers that Cinderella wears, she's perfect for the ball. Can be carried as a clutch, but looks really cute dangling from your shoulder with the attached gold chain. How'd I make her? Here it goes. Starting off with this cute clear clutch, along with stones from Planet Rhinestone, and using Bob Smith Industries Maxi-Cure as an adhesive. Sandpaper to scrape the surface of the bag. We chose to use the transparent stones from Planet Rhinestone in the sizes 3mm, 4mm, and the 2mm. And don't forget your tray. Starting with the clean, dry surface, you want to use your sandpaper and sand that boy down. It's going to feel terribly wrong to do this because look at all the scuffs and the cloudiness, but this is what you need, trust me. Scraping it with the sandpaper makes the stones adhere to the surface a lot easier. Initially, I thought that using the Bob Smith Industries Maxi-Cure would be the best choice for this project. Later on, I ran into problems with the Maxi-Cure. It dripped a little bit more than I expected it to, and it dried pretty cloudy. The cloudiness of the adhesive interfered with the transparency of the stones, so at a lot of times I felt that I wasn't getting that clear, diamondy shine, that quality shimmer that I was looking for with this project, so I switched over to using the E6000. Starting off with the largest size stone, the 4mm, I made a layer or border around the edges. Also, I made note not to scrape or scuff that gold finishing that's around the edge of the bag. In placing these stones, I used the same pattern throughout the project from start to finish. I started off by going around the entire perimeter, and then I will go row by row by row. It was a little difficult in placing the stones because if you see here, they have no backing. Because the stones were transparent, I couldn't tell which was the front or the back of the stone when picking it up and placing it onto the surface of the bag. What I noticed is that when the stone was set in the proper position in the tray, the stone appeared to be dull or cloudy. Picking up the stones that appeared to be cloudy and placing it onto the surface of the bag assured me that the stone was in the proper position, and I was indeed placing the flat surface of the stone against the bag. So here you see me kind of pop or tap the tray, trying to flip these stones over. The goal is to have the more cloudy appearing stones be directed towards me so I can use my wax stick and pick them up and apply them to the bag. In looking at the bag, I knew that this would take a really long time using those 4mm stones. This project took literally over 24 hours to complete. Not that I sat for 24 hours straight, but it really took over 24 hours of me applying the stones, just applying the stones. So just to recap, at this point, I've already sanded down my bag. I've used a dry paper towel to wipe off the dust, and then I used the alcohol pad to clean off any residue. I've allowed the bag to air dry, and I'm starting those stones, going around the perimeter, and I'm going to go row by row by row until I work myself into the center. A tip when using any adhesive on surfaces that are hard and plasticky, it's best to kind of give it maybe a minute to dry just a bit because you like for that surface to be a little tacky when you're applying the stones. We are going to zoom in so you can see the process much more closely. Here we are at the perimeter, creating our border, applying our adhesive. You can see I'm not going too far. I'm going maybe 2 inches. I'm positioning the bag so that if the glue does kind of spread or drip, it's not going to drip on the previous layer or even worse, drip down onto that gold surface. I'm trying to give it maybe about 20 or 30 seconds to dry. I'm actually right now blowing on that glue to get it, a little bit more tacky so that when I put the stone on there, it's not slipping and sliding across the glue that I've already set down. And now we're just going to speed it up. This is 6 hours later. I have completed the first layer of the stones. Initially, I thought this is what I wanted for it to look like, but it just wasn't giving enough for me. And you can also see the cloudiness using that Maxi-Cure created that cloudy effect behind some of the stones. It still shines and shimmers, but it just wasn't enough for me. Here you'll see me point out the small gaps there. I'm going to fill those in with the smaller stones. So that first layer is done. I think that I'm going to start on the other side once this dries. You have to give it some dry time. It's really cute, it's really fancy, it's dainty, it's sparkly, but there was just something missing for me, so I did decide to go even further with it. I decided to diamond encrust the entire project. I committed to doing multiple layers using all different size stones because I wanted to get that encrusted diamond look, and this did it for me. Just so many layers of sparkliness. Sometimes I would individually place stones, and at other times I would place groupings of stones at the same time. But layer upon layer upon layer, this is literally a lot of time invested into this project. I've literally fallen in love with it. It's Cinderella. It's Cinderella's heart. It's sparkly. It's lightweight. It shimmers. Look at how it hits the light. Oh, I am in love with this bag. All that's missing are the glass slippers. Literally, that's all that's missing from this bag. So here's another 2 days later. We wanted some additional time to allow our bag to dry. You'll see me flip it over. A few loose stones fall off, but it's nothing significant at all. The bag is not as fragile as I'm making it seem. It's just I put into so much work into it. I'm just really careful about flipping it on its side and getting started on the next layer. After many hours later of laying layer after layer of stones and allowing some dry time, I was asked to further embellish the project by doing the edge. So per request, I committed to doing the border. I'm using stones by My Royal Radiance. The champagne stones accent the gold layer really beautifully. You'll see that I'm going to do a line of the champagne colored stones, and I'm going to end it with another encrusted layer of clear stones at the border. As much as I love this bag, this turned out to be one of the most tedious jobs that I've taken on. The person who's interested in the bag, they love the idea of the encrusted diamond look, and they wanted me to go layer after layer, and I did oblige them. So here you're going to see me switch from using the Bob Smith to using the E6000 to finally deciding to use the Krystal Glaze when I was working with the border, the gold edge, because the Krystal Glaze did not leave any residue behind that interfere with the look that I was going for. So I used the E6000 for the layering effect, and then I used the Krystal Glaze to do the edges, the surrounding gold part, and I got the look that I wanted. More importantly, I got the look that the client wanted. And then I was asked to do a second bag, and crazily, I committed to doing a second bag just like this. No two bags are the same, but the same look, the same process. Got a little better at it that second time, so I do like how this bag turned out. And here actually is the second bag. I improved on my speed when making this bag the second time around, and I also had a bit better technique. This bag and other bags I'm posting on eBay and Etsy. All the bags I work on the YouTube will be for sale there. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more content. And also you can check me out on Instagram at VVS Clutch Bags. Thank you.